Hello, beautiful people. Let's do a couple of channel announcements before we talk about Amanita being addictive and how much is too much. And that is that, depending on when you see this, my Zoom is coming up on the first Saturday of every month. My store opens on the second weekend of the month, usually. And that's how I support myself, because as you'll notice, I have very few ads on my videos here because of censorship and shadow banning on YouTube. So that's how I pay my bills. And most of the censored stuff that I can't show here or talk about here is all the videos are on amanitadreamer.net. So if you're wondering where the meat of my content is, how to make stuff, how to dose stuff, like all the good stuff about Amanita, it's all on amanitadreamer.net. Because if I leave it here, you know what happens. So let's talk about some of the cool stuff that's going to be in my store. Is everybody gets a free sticker that I have designed, vinyl, really well made, and a postcard. Every month it's a new one that I have professionally printed. I'm very proud of. So please go check out my store. You can look at it anytime. You just can't buy till it's open. There are going to be massive changes to the store, however, and hopefully I won't be making everything in my house anymore. But everything is going to be more professionally made somewhere else because I have outgrown my house. I can tell you Amanita is not addictive. So that's the thing. And then there's some medications that have this, and the ones that I know of are mostly in natural medicine, but they have this reverse adaptability. And what that means then is you can't take it all the time because it will actually build up in your system and you'll get side effects from it that start to resemble overdose effects, sort of this building effect, you know? And then because it's a living medicine, because it's actually fixing things, then you will need less of it over time. And that's just the beautiful thing about this mushroom. And it's funny, people come to my channel, and because sometimes I wear makeup, sometimes I don't, sometimes my lighting is good, sometimes it's not. I'm not like this 20-something, I have grown children. But they don't know when they see me and they're like, you're addicted. You need to lay off of it. You look wild. You look crazy. You look haggard. And it's like, okay. I mean, valid. Okay, valid. I get it. You're afraid. So that's why I'm trying to educate people is that, first of all, why are we so obsessed with how I look? But I get it. You can just say it's the mushroom. But, for all you know, I'm going through chemotherapy or something. I'm not. I'm fine. Anyway, people are stupid. But it's a valid concern about taking too much. And then the people commenting, hey, you're addicted. And most of you that know psychedelics and how they work, you know they're not addictive. And they'll actually sort of like kick you out if you take too much. But the beautiful thing about entheogens is that mushroom voice. That's why my community and store is called the Mushroom Voice. Living medicine. It's a conversation. It's a healing process. It works in ways that modern medicine doesn't understand or even know how to quantify and test. But those of you that have taken them know and you understand. And so the way then that it works is it's not a one-size-fits-all for dosing. It works in complex systems and cross systems. So not only the fight or flight, rest and digest, but also the inflammatory cycle, endocrine system, digestive system, immune system, your sleep and wake cycles. This mushroom works on all of those. It's highly complex. The way that it works in the gut, that we have receptors for it in our heart and in our gut, and in our peripheral nervous system and in our brains, that it might be working on eyesight. The fact that it plugs into so many systems in so many ways, and then it's healing these things, clearly then you would need less over time. But it's not just a matter of more and less, because this is multiple medicines in one. Remember, there's ibotenic acid in its raw state, and then muscimol in its completely converted state, and everything in between, which is important medicine. And I always say start in the middle. Do about a 50, 40, 30, whatever conversion. Get it in that middle range. And it's a unique medicine with all of the medicine on board simultaneously, and in its wisdom knows where to go, right? As you dose it, and it's happened for me over time, pretty quickly I stepped my dose up higher and higher till I settled at my microdose. My macrodose then was my macrodose. It has pretty much stayed that way. But my higher doses, hero dose or whatever, of the tea, how to make it is on amanitadreamer.net. Try to put it here. Got a strike, got it taken down. My high doses of the tea have continued to go up, but I think that is my adaptability, because it's not something you do all the time. You know, I only do that once every 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whenever I feel like I need it. And because it's something I don't do often, but something in me has shifted and healed and adapted, I think in those higher doses, you do need to go higher. You can adapt to higher, and you need that higher to get the lessons and the wisdom, because you've healed the things lower. Bad wording. Don't have the words. Hope this is making sense. There's higher lessons, and so you can take more. That's not to say you can necessarily bump up your ibotenic acid. It doesn't look like people's ability to adapt to their sensitivity to ibotenic acid changes. That means you just got to really do a lot more conversion of the tea before you sort of max out on that because of the effects of ibotenic acid. I have all this under Finding Your Dose. That video is on amanitadreamer.net. But because this is a living medicine, you can't take too much of it because it will kick you out. You will start to get side effects of taking too much, like ibotenic acid, and getting real twitchy and jittery. The cats keep playing with my light on the ground. Ibotenic acid, like when you take too much of it, you'll get twitchy, your muscles will get twitchy, and you can get a little crampy in your gut. But if you really can't fall asleep and you're just waking up every hour, like you're probably taking too much. There's a difference between being angry because you're dealing with issues, and I have a video on that here so far on YouTube, hadn't been taken down yet, but also on amanitadreamer.net, about when you're angry. That's a normal thing. There's a big difference between feeling physically jacked up and antsy and irritable and then emotional anger. I believe you can tell the difference. I think they're just completely different. Aside from trying to find your dose, if you microdose too many days in a row, you'll know it. It'll feel gross. You'll feel like you don't want to take it again. If you feel that way, that's your body telling you don't. So don't. The protocol I laid out, it's every day for 3 days, and then you're immediately starting to put days in between your dose. My protocol is also on amanitadreamer.net. So it spaces it out and spaces it out and spaces it out because you heal and you need less over time. You try to take it too many days in a row and you'll know it's not good. Too much muscimol and you'll start feeling thick-headed and dull and like you can't think, depressed and lacking in motivation, like you just can't move, don't want to do anything. All you want to do is lay around, really bored, wanting to get up and do something, but absolutely cannot get up and do anything. Can't really focus or think or work out even the simplest of things. That's too much muscimol. And these aren't good. Like that's overuse of a very good medicine, but we need that to know how much is too much, you know? Even when I've been through some of my worst life experiences and I've taken very high doses to help my heart, 5 days in a row was the most I could manage. And I know the Russian protocol is a whole lot more than that. What I'm learning in Western parts of the world that use this, I don't know if it's genetic or what, but we just don't seem to be able to tolerate it like that. I'm speaking in generalities, men. Generalities in general, which is why what I talk about, the way that I talk about using it, isn't going every day for 10 days, 2 weeks, three weeks, the way that the Russian protocol is. But you do what you need to do. I am not the be all end all of this thing. I'm learning too. I'm in year 4. There are Russians that have been using it their whole life. Maybe that's how they can take so much. I don't know. I'm giving you feedback based on the feedback I get and the people that I'm working with and people that I'm talking to, thousands of people. This is what they're telling me, and I'm reporting it back to you. There will be exceptions to everything. People that can only take it one day and then they got to put days in between. People that can take it every day for 10 days before they're like, okay, I gotta back off. But by far, the number one question I get is, I'm getting these symptoms, what's going on? And what's going on is they're taking too much. Over and over and over. I think that's the thing that I tell to people the most is back off and see what happens. Mushroomvoice.com if you want to talk to me, Zoom with us, or if you want to look at my store and anything that's in it and see when it's going to open next and support the work that I do. I need the support. And I'm working on the documentary, and I'm working on the book and the journal and workbook on dosing as fast as I can. And I'm making videos as fast as I can. And I love all your comments and your amazing, beautiful support. And go listen to the podcast that I'm on. And I'm getting invited to speak at mushroom festivals and stuff. And you can see all that on amanitadreamer.net. Oh my God, what a life. What is going on? It's 2023. It's February. And that's where we are. And I love you, beautiful people. Bye. Playing with my light on the ground. It's okay, baby. You're curious. That's fine. Now it's too close.